On this Tuesday, on the eve of Thanksgiving, we're talking about the start of Thanksgiving. It came from the Civil War. And then we're going to talk about some fistfights during the Civil War, too, because, hey, that'll be fun. This is Laughs from the Past. Thanks for joining. All right, welcome back. Welcome to Laughs from the Past, Season 2. I think this is Episode 6 of the Civil War. It's Thanksgiving week, so we're gonna do a little bit of Thanksgiving, because guess what, Jake? Thanksgiving was created because of the Civil War, basically. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that well known. I think the history of Thanksgiving isn't well known in America, which is crazy because it's an American holiday.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking Pilgrims. I'm thinking 1600s.
Yep. There are,
and I'm thinking of the Chris Kattan, Will Ferrell SNL skit, which I'm thinking about making you watch right now because it's hilarious.
I'll watch it afterwards.
Okay.
So how are you? First off, doing good?
I'm good, man. I prefaced you coming into this that I was gonna take a different vibe than I normally take. I've genuinely have my legs kicked up. It's been a pretty long 24 to 72 hours for me. So I'm kind of excited to have you tell me a story about this here, Civil Mirror.
All right, we'll be up. First, we're going to do Thanksgiving, but then Thanksgiving kind of goes off course because it was began in 1863, which is the war started in 1861. Everyone knows because you've been listening. Abraham Lincoln, it's the Battle of the Gettysburg's happening. Like they're in the middle of the war, and Abraham Lincoln declares a holiday, declares that everyone must have a day of thanks. Now, a day of like thanks and eating, that was part of America, but it wasn't a specific day. It was basically when your harvest was bountiful and you had extras, you had a day of thanks for the land giving you so much food. So
was it kind of like a town's Greek fest? Like each town had their Greek fest. It's Brookfield does it this weekend. Middletown's going to be next week.
Yeah, or even like a farmer's market. It wasn't once a year. Like they would
Okay.
have Thanksgiving, like days of Thanksgiving or Thanksgiving meals. But Lincoln, in the middle of the war, his 11-year-old son had just died recently. He was super depressed, and he declared it a day of Thanksgiving, and no one really understood like what he was trying to do in 1863. Well, the next year came around, and he does it again. His original proclamation read, "In the midst of a civil war of unequaled magnitude and severity, peace has been preserved with all nations. Order has been maintained. The laws have been respected and obeyed, and harmony has prevailed everywhere, except in the theater of military conflict." Which is nice, Abe, but I mean, like, that's like a big except.
There's a lot of words back in the day.
Well, you gotta...
like, people didn't shoot it straight back in the day.
No, I mean...
the smart people tried to constantly give too much to the dumb
Dude,
people.
he's a lawyer. Lincoln was a lawyer. That's like all what law is. Let me throw a million words at you. You won't understand 80% of them, and you'll just sign this.
I know, but, like, especially think about, like, we've talked about the mentality and, like, mental capabilities of people from this time period. Like, that almost went over my head. I was just like, basically, he says that, and my next question is, what?
Yeah.
And then he goes, go eat a lot of food with your friends and family. And I'm like, yeah.
Hey, Abe, nice.
Honest.
No, so, well, basically he's saying, it's weird what he's saying, because in the midst of civil war, in the midst of this great civil war, peace has been maintained across all nations, orders maintained, the laws are respected, harmony is prevailed everywhere, except in the theater of military conflict. Like, Abe, that's a huge except. Except the 100 and thousands of your men, brothers, fathers killing each other across our nation. Everything else is sound, so let's celebrate.
Oops.
And then in 1864, he said, "I do further recommend to my fellow citizens aforesaid that on that occasion they do reverently humble themselves in the dust." That's even weirder. It was like trying to do a poetry things. Anyway, Abe wanted the nation, he kind of wanted the nation to, just kind of like I don't know, be happy during wartime. And he said, this is going to be your day of thanks and celebrate it. And then the story of the Indians and the Pilgrims was
Right.
known. So he tied it together about like the Union coming together, the North and the South of this great divide can eat and celebrate in harmony on the same day. We can all do it just like that of the Pilgrims and the Indians who were always at odds and war, and they ate together.
Not for nothing. That must have been like the cool scene in a TV show or a movie. Like you have the main character, Abe Lincoln, in this situation. He's having some serious consternation. He's trying to think of a solution. He's like, how can I kind of unite this country? Because we're going to have to unite at some point. And then he goes, okay, how about the whole Pilgrims Indians thing? Two groups of different people. They came together. They had a good time. Let's just make that an official day, and everyone will like it.
Mm-hmm.
Bing.
It's pretty smart. He was not the first president to do so. George Washington and James Madison had early issued Thanksgiving proclamations calling for somber days of prayer. Perhaps Lincoln saw an opportunity to underscore shared American traditions, a theme found in mystic chords of memory stretching from every patriot grave. So it's kind of like, hey, other presidents have done this, so there's a precedent set, but he wanted to do it as a yearly thing, especially in these trying times. And there was like a big food drive, like right from the start. Turkey was involved because that's an American bird, basically. The good people of Petersburg, Virginia, had no turkey, but they were lucky to eat it all. They ate pigeon. That's gross. Soldiers had food drives and stuff. So that's how it started, right? That's how it became a holiday. Now, do you want to?
Right.
Do you know this isn't Civil War, but I'll share it because I think it's interesting. And again, Thanksgiving's so weird because it is an American-only holiday, and I feel like all Americans know is the Pilgrims and Indians ate together.
Yeah, it was kind of, I don't know, very romantic, very, we're different, but this is okay.
Yeah.
I don't care if I can't understand you. We're going to share a meal and we're going to be humans. It was a big humanity, I guess.
Yeah, so how it really went down is there was an Indian tribe in New England, and they all got a disease and they all died, besides one dude, Squanto. He got taken to Europe, England, as like a prisoner or whatever, or yeah, basically. And so
bad times for Squanto.
Yeah, so Squanto got taken. He knew English.
You killed everyone I know, and now you're taking me to Europe.
They didn't kill him. They got a plague. So they were alive when he left. He came back. They're all dead.
No, bad.
Whole
times.
village dead. And there was another tribe there. I'm going to blank on this word. It's something like Manasquat or Manasquat or something like that.
Yeah, you're around it. Manapequot, something like that. Massapequot.
Yeah, I think it's Manasquat. I don't know. So that tribe and that leader, he took Squanto in, but he was pretty skeptical of him. He was like, I don't really trust you, but whatever. We can need help. Because everyone was dying, and his tribe, Manasquat's tribe, was getting decimated, right, by plague themselves. But the Narragansett tribe was their rival, and they were pretty healthy and strong. So they feared the Narragansett. So then these pilgrims come, and they land, and instead of fighting them right away, Manasquat or whatever his name is, he sees this as an opportunity to befriend them so that he can be like, yo, those Narragansett tribe, they're crazy. You want to watch out for them. Like, we'll get your back, you get our back. He wanted to team up, right? So he sent Squanto to live with the pilgrims who were living in the graves of Squanto's old tribe, like they all died of disease. So now you got the pilgrims, Squanto living there, and Squanto's reporting to Manasquat, and they're waiting for Narragansett, and that's all happening right there. So one day, there's just loud cheering and gunfire, right, from where the pilgrims are. So Manasquat, M dude comes.
We'll go M. I think it's Massapequa. That's like what the casinos and stuff. That's like the tribes in Connecticut.
I'm going to type some letters in and just see if we can like even get it. But yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so
M
and his tribe, they come like ready to fight. They're like, what the fuck? Are the pilgrims attacking us? Are they being attacked by Narragansett? What's happening? And they get there and they look through the brush and they just see that they're celebrating. Like they just have a ton of food and they're celebrating. Everything's going good. So they're like, fuck, we want in on that party. That looks like a good time. So they go, they kill a bunch of deer, like 5 deer, I think is what the report says. They bring those and they all feast together.
Sure.
I mean, so what it was, that's like how it actually went down. Which is, it is kind of friendly. Like it's not as horrible as you might think, like they were hiding a horrible story from you.
Okay.
But that's it. It's pretty.
Okay, yeah. I thought you were just going to say M's crew rolled up on the Gansets just as kind of like a bonus thing. Like, hey, we're cool. Look what we just did. Killed your enemy.
It's Massasoit. It's Massasoit.
Is that a person or a tribe?
Person. He's the leader of the tribe. It's actually a title for the leader of this tribe, dude, but I have no idea how to pronounce it.
Cheese and rice.
Yeah. Yeah, no idea how to pronounce it. So that's how it happened. Then there's some other. So Lincoln said it was the last Thursday of November, but when the Great Depression came around, they were trying to get out of the Great Depression, and it landed on the 5th Thursday. There's 5, so it's like the second to last day of November, and Roosevelt was like, "This isn't good. This isn't good for the economy," because from the get-go, like Black Friday it wasn't a coin term, but people started their shopping right after Thanksgiving. So this left a week of commerce like to go ruin. So Roosevelt changed it to the second to last Thursday.
Cyber Monday.
He changed it to the second to last Thursday to help the economy. But then when the next year came and there's only 4 Thursdays, then they were celebrating it on the 3rd Thursday. That was way too early. People called it Franksgiving for Franklin FDR, and they like hated it. So then Congress had to figure it out. Like, okay, instead of counting backwards from the last Thursday, let's just count from the 1st Thursday, and it'll be the 4th Thursday. So on the off years when there are 5, we just won't do that, and that's what it is ever since.
Pretty good.
Pretty weird, right? Franksgiving. I'm celebrating Franksgiving. I'm going to celebrate next week.
Times must have been hot.
It worked, though. The economy worked. All right. So there you go. There's some Thanksgiving history. Also, I just read up that like football was always involved from like the early 1900s. College football, like high school football, was always involved on Thanksgiving.
Hey, you work up an appetite.
So like that's been American for longer than you'd think it was American. Like sports, football, and Thanksgiving. That's pretty interesting because I was like, hey, I wonder if that took place, when the NFL was just getting started, like the 60s, 70s, or whatever, But nope.
I'm trying to think any holidays not associated with sports. I guess like Easter.
Christmas is associated with basketball, but how far back does that date?
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that surprise you a little bit, but like basketball owns Christmas now. Like that's very much a thing.
I don't think it's as much as Thanksgiving in the NFL.
No, but I mean it's in the same league, which I think is impressive. And I mean I don't think it dates back as far, but 4th of July, you think baseball, and not even necessarily because the games are important, but just like America.
1947 was the first Christmas basketball game. So yeah,
see, that's kind of impressive. Holidays and sports, baby.
I mean, it makes sense. Like sports are smart. Oh, everyone's sitting around their computer just hanging out. Same with December movie releases, Christmas movie releases. You got to take advantage of that. All right, so we'll go back to the Civil War though, where we kind of left off, and we're not totally going chronological order. We left off that we left off that Lincoln got Grant to be in charge, right? So the first battle in which Grant and Lee are squaring off is the Battle of the Wilderness. What do you think about that name?
What in the wilderness?
The Battle of the Wilderness.
The Battle of the Wilderness.
Sounds like Game of Thrones thing.
Yeah, a little bit. A little too much.
But that's what like the area was called by locals. It was just the wooded area.
It's kind of funny.
So it was wilderness.
What should we call that area? Wilderness, man.
A lot of woods and shit like that. I don't know.
I don't really care. All those trees. It's the wilderness, bro.
All right. So here we go. I'm gonna start reading. In May of 1864, Union and Confederate armies clashed in a dense wooded area known as the Wilderness. Over the course of 3 days, more than 120,000 Yankees fought 65,000 rebels to an ultimately inconclusive result. Yankees, you had them outnumbered by double. What are you doing? Both sides took tens of thousands of killed and wounded, and the Union Army of the Potomac pushed further into Virginia. That's what Grant took over from McClellan and then Burnside and the other guys. Before anyone knew the outcome of the battle, however, one small skirmish captured everyone's attention, Union and Confederate. In the middle of the wilderness. That's a great start to a story.
Yeah.
In the middle of the wilderness, between the two armies' centers, was a clearing called Saunders Field. Being the only real clearing in the area between two opposing armies meant that it was full of artillery shells and the holes made by those shells, along with bullets. Just tons of bullets. I read a fact today that it took a human's weight of bullets to hit one person. That's how bad they were at shooting.
Jesus.
So they would fire like 400 bullets to hit one dude.
I mean, what does that mean though? Because I mean, we're still lining up in order. You know what I'm saying?
Not totally lining up in order. Like they were still like hiding behind things and behind the wood and
Okay.
like getting down. It wasn't like how you picture the Revolutionary War where you like walk up to each other and shoot, take turns like
right.
volleying bullets. But yeah, isn't that like crazy? That's how bad of shots they were.
Terrible shot.
You're alive. As the two sides clashed near a gully in the field, a gully is a term I need to start using more.
I use gully. I feel
You're
like.
a gully guy?
I guess that comes up in a golf course a lot.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. As two sides clashed near a gully in the field, a Union soldier hid there to avoid being captured by the enemy. Then a Confederate soldier threw himself into the gully to avoid the hail of Union bullets coming toward him. They were the only two in the gully and didn't even see one another. Now that's interesting, huh?
Only two in the gully. Wow.
So one's hiding. They both jump into basically the same foxhole, we'll say, gully, to hide.
Right.
Until they did see one another. And then they started bantering to one another. What do you think they said? Hey, dude, this is my fucking hole.
Yeah, get out of here. Get out of here, Southerner, before I have to murder you. Oh, why don't you get the hell out of here, you dung Yankee, before I kill you dead.
I dug this hole.
This is my favorite hole. That's what they both said. This is my favorite
My
hole.
favorite hole. Eventually, the two had enough of one another and decided to take it outside of the gully. They stepped into the road for a good old-fashioned fist and skull fight.
Oh, yeah.
Whoever won would take the other as prisoner. So in the middle
sucks.
of the war and bullets flying everywhere, two soldiers like come to terms like we're going to fist fight. One of us is going to be prisoner at the end of it.
That's actually kind of... Well, okay, so my first thought was that sucks. Not only... Because, like, losing a fight is a bad feeling, but then becoming someone's prisoner, worse feeling. But the fact that they both, like, agreed to that was them saying, like, I'm done with this war.
Let's just
Like-
move on.
Like, if I win this fist fight, I gotcha. If you win, just take me.
Oh, dude, classic case. Well, I don't know how this ends up. I haven't read this full article yet, but they were best friends after this. There's no doubt in my mind. Remember, like, Pomp Rock had that fight club, and there were those two dudes that fought in it, and they hated each other. I can't remember their names right now. One tried to fight me once, and then like I had detention with both of them, and they were yucking it up. They were laughing about the fight. You know, fighting galvanizes the two of you, and you become friends.
Fight Club.
Fight Club. Yeah. So they're just earning the respect. The prisoner is going to be like the best kept prisoner. He's basically this dude's best friend. Yeah, he's my prisoner. Kicked his ass. We were in the same gully. I had to kick his ass.
Gully mates.
Yeah. They were halfway between both sides of the battle in full view of everyone in each opposing army. And the men in each of those armies stopped fighting the Civil War to watch a fist fight. All the other soldiers even ran up to get a better view of the fight.
That's what I was going to say. This war has so many funny quirks to it. Like, and like, this is awesome.
I mean, earlier we had them stop fighting to hear the best musicians of the opposing band.
Right. And that's where I think I was trying to hint then, like, that this war is so weird to me because it's not a rooted, like, need to eliminate the enemy. It's just you want to win over the enemy. Like, you're still cool with everyone end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
So then something like this happens, and then but it turns into like you said, a high school fight. Like everyone starts bumping elbows, and it's like, yo, stop shooting. We got two guys brawling out there. Should we check this out? And then it's like, yup.
They like circle around as soon as it's over. It's like they all look at each other and like, oh shit. Do they run back to their spots to hide, or everyone just walks back? It's like Wayne's World. Game on.
It's a slow walk. Game on.
Everyone, place. You hidden? Hold on. Oh, I dropped my shoe. All right, I'm good.
Fighting resumes in 15 minutes.
The account, written by a cavalryman of the Virginia Infantry, doesn't mention how long the fight lasted, only that Johnny Reb soon had the yank down. The Union soldier, true to his word, surrendered. They both returned to the gully. Come on. They're back in square one.
Yeah, we're now back at the gully.
And the man was taken back to Confederate lines after the battle. Dude, the gully times after the fight was just the two of them yucking it up.
Laughing.
Where are you from? So you care about slaves? You got any? Nah. All my friends joined. Oh, me too. You got a wife? Got any pictures? Let me see your dick. All right, cool.
No.
You don't think they compared?
No. Well, I don't know.
I think you got to be a little pissed if you're the other people, if you know, like, wait, why are you guys fighting? Oh, because you both were hiding in a ditch, not helping us fight the war?
Oh, yeah. When that leaks out, everyone's a little mad.
And then they just go back to the ditch and hide, and they're best friends now? Like, any doubt in your mind these two are best friends?
Do I doubt they're best friends?
Yeah. After the fight, when they're hanging out in the gully together, do you have any doubt that they were friendly?
No, I think it was. I want to say it's like a fox and the hound moment, or like two things that aren't supposed to be friends. They just look at each other, they give each other a smile, and then they're like, on your way, friend.
Well, no, you're my prisoner now, bitch.
Oh, by the way, you're my prisoner.
I like to think that it wasn't a punches thrown. They were just like Greco-Roman wrestling, like on the ground, rolling around the mud. Finally got him in a headlock. Probably was.
Yeah, it wasn't pretty wrestling.
All right, so that's the time that the Battle of the Wilderness stopped to watch a fist fight between two guys. I'm all kind of upset that not everyone else just said, all right, yeah, fuck these weapons, and then they all fist fought.
Just full out brawl.
The generals are like, what the fuck?
Everyone just gets hammered afterwards.
Like, I thought of this strategy for 2 weeks.
It's basically a frat party.
Civil War was awesome. They all look fondly on the Battle of the Wilderness. Oh yeah, no, that was just a drunken time.
We just scrapped hard for like an hour, and then we all got hammered afterwards. And that's how we rushed 5-6.
That's how the Czech people from the Czech would play Saturday night pickup hockey in my old town. They'd come drunk, they'd go on the ice, they'd fight everyone, fight themselves, And then they'd go in the parking lot and drink out of their pickup truck for like the next 2 hours. It was like every Saturday night.
Old-fashioned fun, man.
Another fist fight that happened. This happened before the war, but ties in because we're talking fist fights. Before the war began in 1856. The war began in 1861. In 1856, with the country deeply divided over slavery, the Senate's most notorious case of assault captured the nation's attention and accelerated the march towards civil war. Representative Preston Brooks from South Carolina, in an act that would define his legacy, repeatedly struck Senator Charles Sumner from Massachusetts in the head until the senator was semi-conscious and nearly dead.
Take that, Charles Sumner.
People think Congress is bad now? Like,
maybe it'd help. I don't know.
The incident transformed both men into heroes in their respective regions. That's
Sumner, you got your ass kicked. Nice.
I did not fight back. I resisted the temptation and the urge of the wicked Southerner.
There's just a high-pitched voice in the back. No, you tried to fight. You got your ass kicked.
You got your ass kicked, Sumner, tell the truth. It all began when Sumner, one of the leading anti-slavery voices in Congress, delivered his famous Crime Against Kansas speech, in which he argued that Kansas should be admitted to the Union as a free state. The speech was most remarkable, though, for its insults, as best speeches are. The Senate has all kinds of rules of decorum, and he went way beyond those, said Senate historian Don Ritchie. He attacked many senators by name. The two main targets, Senator Stephen Douglas and Andrew Butler from Illinois and South Carolina, chief architects of the Kansas-Nebraska Act, which allowed settlers to decide for themselves whether slavery would be allowed in territories. Sumner told Douglas to his face that he was a noisome, squat, and nameless animal. What is that? Those insults?
A nameless squat animal?
A noisome? So I'm guessing that means noisy. A noisy, squat, and nameless animal.
I think he's basically saying you're being loud, like people can hear you, but you're a creature that's annoying, loud, and has no name. We don't care about you.
And he said Douglas was not a proper model for an American senator, according to the Senate Historical Office. So, fighting words.
Ooh.
You're no senator.
That's a good comeback.
Did you say that to a senator? You're no senator, sir.
That's the best comeback to any senator.
What does the senator say? No, I am. Well, I'm a senator. It's a lose-lose. That's funny. People used to say I don't know why this popped in my brain. I guess I had hockey on the mind from the Czechs, but my goalie on my hockey team was a girl, and she was my girlfriend.
Sure.
When she was in net, and I was skating, and teams always used to say, "You got a girl on your team," and I'd be standing right in front of Amber, and I'd say, "Oh, prove it, dude." And Amber, and they just look at Amber and then look at me, and we'd all be looking around and like, "You prove it." And they'd just be like, "Okay, bye."
2018, you'd be like a hero on the local news for doing that.
They're like, "What? She's right there."
You mean the girl right there?
But Sumner saved his most personal attacks for Butler, who he noted regretfully was not present in the chamber. He charged Butler with taking a mistress, one who, though ugly to... It sounds like he called his mistress ugly. Hold on. He charged Butler with taking a mistress, one who, though ugly to others, is always lovely to him, though polluted in the sight of the world, is chaste in his sight. The fuck? That's an insult? What's he saying?
Yeah, I don't know.
He then explained his metaphor. I mean the harlot slavery. Okay, so he's comparing the mistress to slavery.
Okay.
Whew. If you need to explain your insult, you've lost. I like the nameless squat animal better. You know what? The only insult that he's had is that you're no senator. That's the only one.
Yeah, that was good. I'm still on
the rest
that.
suck. Payback came 3 days later. Brooks, a relative of Butler and a fellow South Carolinian, entered the Senate chamber bent on defending the honor of his family and his state. He approached Sumner, who was putting his name on copies of his controversial speech. Brooks then slammed his cane into Sumner's unsuspecting head. Okay, so maybe he didn't get his ass beat. It looks like he got molly-whopped when he wasn't ready.
Yeah, cane to the head.
Brooks beat Sumner so severely, about 40 blows, that his cane broke into pieces. Oh, my God. It all took place in a minute's time. Whoa! Some good forearms.
Yeah.
Sumner spent the next 3 years recovering before he returned to the Senate as an ally of President Abraham Lincoln. During his absence, Ritchie said, Sumner's empty desk was a very powerful symbol that the political compromises that they were trying to reach on slavery and the spread of slavery into territories were doomed, and the issue had gotten too emotional and too divisive. Wow. As for Brooks, the congressman resigned but was immediately reelected. Many in the South cheered him. They sent him canes to replace the one he broke in the chamber. It's pretty funny.
Different times.
Different times indeed. So, I mean, I guess that is an insult if you're like, hey, that mistress of yours, she represents slavery. Because
oh.
yeah, because he's like so confused by it. She's no slave. She's not a slave.
No.
Like, no, she represents slavery. Tell me what you mean. You know,
Senator.
You know, Senator.
I'm going to start using that regularly.
Yeah.
It's just a good insult.
It works on, like, civilians, too.
Yeah.
Like,
You're doing it. You do anything and just, you're parking badly. You're no senator.
guy messes up way McDonald's drive-thru messes up your order. You're no senator.
Yeah, dude. No. Like that.
You're no senator. Yeah, that's good. All right. I think that's all I got for this episode. Fist fights and Thanksgiving. Informative, some jokes. I think we did well.
Yeah, Thanksgiving. We circled a lot. Native Americans, Civil War, senators.
Yeah. If you're enjoying this season 2, the Civil War, go leave a 5-star review and just say you're no senator. It's our new favorite line.
Easiest review ever.
I'll like it. I'll enjoy it. All right, that's it for Laughs from the Past, guys. Thank you very much for listening and enjoying. We will be back. I don't know if we're missing a day. I don't think so. I think we'll be back next Tuesday. Yeah, I think we're good. All right, Christmas time we're going to miss some, and then no, we're good. I apologize for confusing myself out loud, which then might have led to your confusion. But enjoy your Tuesdays, and we'll see you later. Bye. See ya.